From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India is a spellbinding mosaic of culture, tradition, languages, and an extraordinary mingling civilization. Keeping its age-old culture maintained, today the country is taking huge strides on the path of development. Hello, I'm your host Pratiksha, and today in our episode of My India, we bring you some of these stories that will offer you a glimpse into India's culture, diversity, and the developments happening in and around the world. Let's begin the show. Onam, a festival of floral artistry and delectable cuisines, was celebrated with great enthusiasm across India. The festival drew people from all across the globe to engage themselves in the 10-day harvest festival, which also comprised a number of mind-refreshing events like boat races, folk dance performances, rangoli making, and other cultural programs. So let's explore one more event this week that is yet another true manifestation of India's cultural heritage.
Kerala, popularly known as God's own country, is located in India's southern part. It has a long and rich cultural heritage that is closely intertwined with its flora and fauna. Annual festivals like Onam bring true joy to the people as it connects them with nature and cultivates fondness for one another. Start with sports events like boat races and tug of war, followed by traditional floral designs created by women with fresh yellow flowers to form rangolis. At the same time, men flaunt pulkit art, while temples perform religious processions every other day, drawing large numbers of people for feasts. This is how the 10-day harvest festival of Onam is celebrated in the southern state. Displaying over 20 cuisines served on banana leaves with a series of traditional folk performances, the Onam festival was celebrated with great fervor this year, attracting social media influencers and vloggers from across the globe.
We are very privileged to be here today from North India to South, especially Kerala being a very exotic place, a very offbeat destination. It's been such a beautiful experience up to now, visiting all the cultural heritage, the different places where government is dealing.
The Festival of Cuisines, Onam Sadhya, prepared with 13 dishes served on banana leaves, was widely observed and celebrated worldwide, especially by the Malayalis. On the occasion, people were found standing in long queues with their eyes fixed on the doors of the temples and their hearts full of hope to seek blessings for a prosperous life. Meanwhile, the premises of temples were filled with the scent of incense and the sound of chanting mantras. On the other side, enthusiast groups were busy entertaining crowds with their traditional exotic clothing and captivating dance forms such as Kathakali, Tiruvatira, Pulikali, Kumattikali, Tumba, Talal and Onamkali.
Today being a very auspicious day, so we wanted to celebrate our Onam, our first Onam actually after being married. So in the Sitapudar, Coimbatore temple. So we wanted to start our first Onam being very happy.
We have come to this temple for Onam. We have been coming to this temple for ever since I knew. Yeah. So it is always so crowded here, like every year for Onam, it is always like this. And we do this prayers and all for the welfare and the happiness and prosperity of the family and for the well-being of whomever we care about.
Believers say the festival celebrates the homecoming of the mythological king Mahabali from Patal Lok, who, despite being a demon, was generous to people, and his reign was considered a golden era for the people of Kerala.
Onam is very special to our heart because we Malayalis grown by celebrating Onam each and every year. So it's very, very special to us. Whoever in which part of the world, everyone was so curious to celebrate Onam, and everyone want to celebrate Onam with our family. So after my 5 years of MBBS life, I couldn't celebrate Onam very much. So today, this year, after completion of my MBBS, I am very much excited to celebrate Onam with my family.
Festivals like these serve a greater significance for people of today's generations, as they not only refresh their minds but also help them gain consciousness towards their everyday activities. Apart from the health aspect, the festival is also garnering appreciation and alluring tourists from around the globe.
This week, India also celebrated Raksha Bandhan, a festival that rejoices in the purest kind of bond between a brother and a sister. The festivity evokes a sense of brotherhood as people cutting across different religious backgrounds step forward to celebrate the bond of love, care and responsibility. Today in our show, we'll take you to a small Rakhi shop in Gujarat's Ahmedabad, where Hindus and Muslims have been preparing Rakhis for years, serving as an example of communal harmony. Let's have a look.
Raksha Bandhan, a widely celebrated festival in India, glorifies the beautiful bond between a brother and a sister. Every year, the sisters tie a silk thread known as Rakhi on their brother's wrist, symbolizing an unbreakable bond of love and care between siblings. The Rakhi on the brother's wrist is a kind of promise that he makes to his sister that he will stand by her to the peril of his life. The tradition of Rakhi dates back to about 6,000 years, when sisters of warriors and kings would tie Rakhis on their brother's wrist for their safety and well-being during the war. However, history has preserved a ton of stories narrating instances of Raksha Bandhan, where the bond between a brother and a sister has come out as the most sacred and the most revered. The epic tale of Hindu Rani Karnavati and Muslim King Humayun, who took their brother-sister bond beyond the boundaries of religions, still reverberates in hearts of every Indian citizen. Today, the Hindu festival of Raksha Bandhan has garnered so much popularity and respect in other religions that all the communities celebrate this festival with an indomitable sense of communal harmony. A small Rakhi shop run by Iqbal Sattar in collaboration with his Hindu counterpart Sunil Gupta in Gujarat's Ahmedabad is a living example of this ever-flourishing bond of love and brotherhood.
मैं यहाँ पर आई हूँ लेने, ये इकबाल भाई के वहाँ पर इन्होंने बहुत अच्छी राखियों का कलेक्शन बनाया हुआ है, बहुत ही अच्छा। जैसे हम हिंदू हैं पर वो मुसलमान हैं, पर उन्होंने हिंदुत्व का ध्यान रखते हुए उन्होंने हमारे देवी देवता कृष्ण, ओम, श्री जैसे काफी हिंदुत्व का ध्यान रखते हुए काफी राखियों का सर्जन किया हुआ है। उन्होंने एकता का एक बहुत अच्छा मैसेज दिया है। उन्होंने हमारे देवी देवताओं में या मुसलमान के देवी देवताओं में कोई भेदभाव नहीं किया।
Raksha Bandhan is observed on the last day of the Hindu lunar month of Shravana. The markets in Ahmedabad were bustling with women, men and children who wanted to buy the best quality Rakhis and sweets for their beloved siblings.
राखी जो है वो हमारी 4 फैमिली से बनाता आती है, 4 पीढ़ी से, और हमारा हैंडीक्राफ्ट का मेन बिजनेस है। तो ये राखी की जो त्यौहार है वो एक त्यौहार को हमने इसके लिए पसंद किया है कि पूरे विश्व के अंदर, दुनिया के अंदर भाई बहन का प्रेम का ये एक ही त्यौहार है।
Performing the traditional rituals on the day of Raksha Bandhan, families in every nook and corner of the country celebrated the festivity of love and compassion. Engaging in a cordial celebration of Raksha Bandhan, sisters tied Rakhis on their brothers' wrists while receiving blessings and gifts from their beloved ones.
आज का दिन अगर सब भी तो खुशी लग रहा है, क्योंकि आज खुशी का दिन है, भाई बहन का दिन है। हर साल में एक ही तो दिन आता है राखी बांधने के लिए, तो इस दिन तो सभी हम लोग खुशी है कि भाई लोग का राखी बांधे, हम लोग मिठाई खाया है, भाई लोग मिठाई भी दिया है, गिफ्ट भी दिया है।
Although the festival of Raksha Bandhan is prominent in Hindu culture, Iqbal never fails to meet the expectations of his buyers, who genuinely appreciate the distinctiveness of his beautiful Rakhis. These modest actions taken by people like Iqbal hold a significant impact on the future and help preserve our nation's secular fabric.
And now, I round up some of the major stories that made news recently.
Over 450 swanky high-end luxury cars are being arranged for delegates as the Indian capital of New Delhi gears up for the G20 summit.
गवर्नमेंट की तरफ हमें जो रिक्वायरमेंट आई है 450 गाड़ियों से ज़्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट आई है जो दिल्ली में आई है। अब इसमें ऐसे होता है कि जैसे हम अपनी जो है वो 150 गाड़ियाँ प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, बट 150 गाड़ियों के अलावा जो बाकी गाड़ियाँ हैं वो बाकी ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री के लोग मिलके बना रहे हैं, और उनके अलावा भी जो है मुंबई से, आगरा से, दिल्ली से, अलग अलग जगहों से, आगरा, मुंबई, पंजाब से गाड़ियाँ आ रही हैं रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरा करने के लिए।
As per a car rental firm, luxury cars like the Audi Q7, BMW 5 Series and Mercedes Maybach are being arranged for the G20 summit, which will be held on September 9 and 10. US President Joe Biden, Chinese Premier Xi Jinping, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and French President Emmanuel Macron are expected to attend the G20 summit. Russian President Vladimir Putin will not be present. During the two-day event, India hopes to forge agreement among members on matters ranging from reforms of multilateral banks to developing a global approach to cryptocurrencies. Exiled Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, flew down to India's northern Kangra district after his 2-month visit to India's Himalayan desert of Ladakh.
Of course, it is very important for us to see him. Even though we stay here in Dharamsala, we all are very happy whenever we hear the news Dalai Lama is approaching, or whenever he is going outside, because we want to have him has his blessing.
The spiritual leader left Indian hill town Dharamshala in July, where exiled Tibetans live in large numbers as refugees. The followers arranged a vibrant and colorful welcome with dances and posters for the monk at the airport on his return. The Dalai Lama was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989. After a rebellion against Chinese rule in 1959, the spiritual leader exiled himself to India and has since been living mostly in Himachal Pradesh's Dharamshala. The maroon-robed monks' supporters operate a government in exile in India and promote Tibet's autonomy by peaceful means. The Indian Space Agency released new images of Chandrayan 3's rover Pragyan's latest findings on the surface of lunar South Pole. As per the Indian Space Research Organization, the rover in its journey witnessed a crater that had a 4-meter diameter, and the rover positioned itself 3 meters ahead of its location. The rover, commanded to retrace the path by ISRO, is now safely heading on a new path, said the agency. The mission has been endowed with several in-situ experimentations, of which the thermal readings of the lunar surface have been sent across to ISRO. The soft, textbook touchdown by the lander after a failed attempt in 2019 sparked widespread jubilation and celebration in the world's most populous country. The media hailed the historic landing as India's biggest scientific feat.
India, often known for its diverse culture and unique traditions around the world, has its own value system and beliefs derived from scriptures and the sayings of scholars and learned people like Sufi saints. They have not only played a key role in uniting religious communities, but also have emphasized the inward search for humanity. Today in our show, we'll take you to the Dargah of Sayyid Yufudullah in Tripura, which has become a common pilgrimage site for people from different religious backgrounds and ethnicities. Let's have a look.
One of the northern eastern states of India, Tripura, has a rich tribal heritage and culture. At times, this culture had strong influences of Sufism and various other beliefs, making it an amalgamation of religions and practices. Sayyid Yufudullah Mazar Sharif in Tripura state is a glowing example of this multi-religious character developed over time among the residents. People from different walks of life come to the Dargah to offer their sincere prayers to the revered saint and seek his blessings. There is no discrimination among communities as everybody bows at the shrine and offers chadars. The 114 years old Dargah draws a large number of devotees from across the state who come here to get their wishes fulfilled.
यहाँ आके सुकून मिलता है, चैन मिलता है। जैसे मान लो ये हिंदू मुस्लिम कुछ नहीं, इसमें सभी अपना आस्था के लिए आता है। जो आने के बाद सुकून मिलता है, चैन मिलता है, इसलिए आते हैं। यहाँ आने के बाद कोई मन्नत पूरा होता है कभी कभार, हम लोग इसमें विश्वास करते हैं तो इसलिए आते हैं यहाँ।
The shrine is often filled with people who come here to be at peace and find an escape from their mundane lives. Devotees spend hours sitting and meditating in the premises of the Dargah. To facilitate these devotees, a langar is also organized once a week. A large number of visitors and devotees, regardless of their religious backgrounds, are served the meals to ensure that nobody goes empty stomach from the center of peace and harmony.
इस मज़ार में मैं बचपन से आ रहा हूँ और यहाँ पे मैं कुछ मिलने के लिए नहीं आता हूँ। मुझे यहाँ पे आने से एक दिल में सुकून मिलता है, एक दिल की जो मान लीजिए कि मुझे कभी भी मतलब कुछ भी बेचैनी होता है, परेशान होता हूँ, तो मैं यहाँ पे आता हूँ तब उससे एक शांति मिलती है। उस शांति को महसूस करने के लिए मैं यहाँ पर आता हूँ। ये करीबन 114 साल पुराना है और यहाँ पर सभी धर्मों के लोग आते हैं यहाँ पर इसलिए क्योंकि यहाँ पे सब कुछ ना कुछ मन्नत मांगते हैं और मन्नत जो भी मांगता है वो ये करता है कि कोशिश करता है कि उसका मन्नत पूरा हो। जब भी उसका मन्नत पूरा होता है वो आता है और उसका आने का सिलसिला हमेशा चलता ही रहता है।
Sufi shrines and dargahs have always been common destinations of pilgrimage for all religions. The key lessons of Sufism, such as unity and togetherness among the various communities, are followed even today and will be followed religiously in the times to come.
And now, we bring you some of the stories from recent developments and happenings from around the world in our section of World in Focus.
Revelers hurled tons of overripe tomatoes at each other in the eastern Spanish town of Bunol at the annual Tomatina festival. Trucks loaded with tomatoes drove through the main street, distributing the sepi projectiles while partygoers threw them and covered each other in red juice. The Tomatina is said to have originated from a spontaneous bust-up among villagers in 1945. It was banned for a while during the 1950s at the height of General Francisco Franco's dictatorship, but survived to gain popularity across Spain in the 1980s and today draws large crowds of visitors from abroad as well as Spaniards. An ancient complex inside the old city of Jerusalem is revived again, transforming into a cultural center after a few years of renovation.
ففعليا هو بيروي زي ما قلنا القصه الفلسطينيه من عين مرأة، وليش ركزنا نعمل الدار القنصل لارتباط المكان وارتباط المنطقه بهاي المرأة. هي قصه مرأة عاشت بهاي المنطقه، فحبينا اول شيء نضوي الضوء على المكان هذا اللي هو مكان تاريخي بيعني لنا كثير كاولاد القدس، ونجيب عليه اولاد القدس نفسهم لانه احنا ما بنعرف هاي المواقع، فهو احياء للمكان اللي بخصنا، وبنفس الوقت كمان لارتباط هاي المرأة بالمكان.
Dar al-Consul, which has ancient stone walls that have been a witness to different cultures in the old city throughout history, currently hosts performances, art galleries, bazaars and cultural events. The renovated historical place contains 2 floors. The first is residential for local Christian families, while the ground floor is a museum, bookshop, restaurant, space for startups and a cultural center, creating opportunities for locals, particularly the Christian community in the old city. Dar al-Consul means the house of the consul and is spread across 2,400 square meters, bounded by Khan al-Zit, a market in the old city. In 1856, it was serving as the Prussian consulate and it is currently owned by the Custody of Holy Land. According to the custodian of the Holy Land, it emphasizes the importance of preserving in the homes and real estates of local Christians as well as their presence in the old city. Archaeologists in northern Peru have unearthed a 3,000-year-old tomb that they believe might have honored an elite religious leader in the Indian country some 3 millennia ago.
Hemos descubierto una tumba de 3.000 años de antigüedad. Esa tumba es muy peculiar, tamaño es grande, casi 2 metros de diámetro y 1 metro de profundidad, ¿no? Y un personaje de hombre masculino y echado a boca abajo, ¿no? Y medio cuerpo arriba está extendida, pero la parte del pie está cruzada. Esa posición bien peculiar.
Dubbed as the priest of Paco Pampa, referring to the highland archaeological zone where the tomb was found, the priest was buried under 6 layers of ash mixed with black earth, decorated ceramic bowls, and seals indicating ancient ritual body paint used for people of elite standing. 2 seals were also found along the upper edges of the tomb, one with an anthropomorphic face looking east and another with a jaguar design facing west. The Paco Pampa Archaeological Project has been working in the area since 2005, the ministry said, adding that rock layers indicate the priest, who would have been buried around 1200 BC, was some 5 centuries older than the tomb of the Lady of Paco Pampa and the priest of the serpent jaguar of Paco Pampa, discovered in 2009 and 2015 respectively.
That's all we have for you this week. Your comments and suggestions are important to us. Do give us your feedback on myindia@anin.com. I'm your host Pratiksha, and it's a goodbye from the entire production team.